Welcome to the SEO.co Search Engine Optimization Podcast. Digital marketing essentials and next level tactics. From offsite and on-site optimization to persuasive selling and everything in between. You'll learn actionable tips on what it takes to outright and outrank your competition. Now, here's your host, Timothy Carter.
Thanks for joining me on the podcast today. We're going to talk about 15 SEO mistakes to avoid. Search engine optimization is named SEO because it requires specific efforts from webmasters, in the form of on-site and off-site optimization that build together an authoritative web presence that Google's algorithms favor to rank your site. However, effective SEO requires a delicate balance between implementing these optimization tactics and improving online user experience. And many webmasters make the mistake of over optimizing their sites. So avoid these over optimization mistakes to keep your users and Google happy. Number one, using too many keywords on a page. It's an easy mistake to make if you're focused on specific keywords. In the early days of the search engine age, if you want to call it that, keyword frequency was pretty straightforward. The more keywords you had on a given page, the more likely it was you would rank for those keywords. Then it was deemed that keywords should only represent 3 to 5% of your total content. Now, any unnatural use of keywords can be detected, so keep your selected keywords to a minimum and focus on quality content. Number two, using more than one keyword in a title tag. Along those similar lines as before, don't try to artificially stuff keywords into your title tags. At most, a title tag should have one strong keyword, and that keyword should be the one most relevant to your business, not the one with the highest competitive advantage. Describe your company in less than 5 words and use that as your primary keyword phrase. Any other keywords you try to shoehorn in there will be irrelevant and, kind of counterproductive. Number three, focusing on specific keywords rather than a topic for a blog article. The blog strategies used to be solely dependent on keyword strategy. You would select a handful of keywords, and write a blog post around each of them. Nowadays, specific keyword frequency is antiquated and really unnecessary. Instead, focus on writing high quality content about a specific topic. That will give you the highest chance of ranking for keywords relevant to that topic because they appear naturally in the body of your blog posts. Number four, writing thin content for the sake of content production. That's a big problem. Too many webmasters, focus on writing a specific number of blog posts or a specific number of new pages on a regular basis in order to maintain a high authority with the search engines. But, that's not really a viable strategy. Instead, posting great content on a regular basis, is important. But remember, it's important to have a smaller number of better blog articles than a large number of weak, thin, and underperforming ones. You want to create that content that provides value and answers specific questions that your ideal customers are looking for. Number five, creating new pages really specifically for SEO purposes. Old search engine marketers used, new page creation as an easy way to build traffic for a specific keyword. For example, if the keyword in question was strawberry ice cream, they would create a page called strawberry ice cream with strawberry ice cream in the title tag and in the body of the page several times. Today, it's a form of over-optimization and should be avoided unless, it truly adds value to the user. And strawberry ice cream over and over again does not do that. 6, duplicating or nearly duplicating a page. Google hates to see duplicate content. It doesn't provide a lot of value. Even if you take a piece of content and spin a few words so it's not an exact copy, Google, their algorithm still can take notice. Too many webmasters, they think that they can get away with this kind of content spinning in private blog networks. But it's an unnatural form of over-optimization, and if Google catches you doing it, you could be penalized. 7, including unnatural keywords. Some keyword phrases are simply unnatural in any context. For example, working the phrase beaches, Cleveland, Ohio, into a natural sentence. It's practically impossible. Google's algorithms can detect that unnatural use of language. So if you attempt to slip these into a blog post trying to get that exact match anchor text phrase, you'll be noticed as an over-optimizer. Instead, focus on the topic of the keyword phrase and write naturally around it. Number 8, stuffing guest posts with backlinks. Guest blogging is still a great strategy for SEO and for brand building, but you need to be careful with the backlinks you include in the body of the post. If you over-optimize the text with too many links pointing back to your site, you could get penalized for over-optimization. So to avoid this, use the rel nofollow tag to mask the existence of your links to the search engine algorithms while preserving them for your readers to click. Number 9, building too many backlinks on one source. It's hard to find great sources to use for backlink building. So when you do find a source that works, it's tempting to rely on it for your strategy. However, building too many poor backlinks on one source can be considered over-optimization and can get you negative attention from Google. Instead, diversify your sources and spread your links throughout them. 10, building too many backlinks in a day. Linking needs to appear natural. And if you build too many links in a day, there's no way they'll look natural. There's no really specific number that warrants a red flag of over-optimization. But, don't make it a point to hit a certain number every day. If you're running a small site, and you're building more than 20 links in one day, you may want to consider scaling back your strategy, especially if you haven't been acquiring links at that level previously to that. 11, building only backlinks and no brand mentions. Link building isn't the only factor that Google considers when evaluating a site's authority. Brand mentions with or without a link are becoming increasingly important as well. So use a combination of pure backlinks, brand mentions with backlinks, and brand mentions without backlinks as equal parts of your overall strategy. Otherwise, you could be penalized for over-optimizing off-site. 12, using only one type of backlink. So, if you're only linking to your homepage, you're asking for trouble. Google wants online users to have great, relevant online experience, and that means your links need to be too valuable and appropriate for the average user. So, direct users to specific pages within your site that are relevant to the content that you've been writing. Instead of funneling all your traffic to the homepage, you want to be able to be a value add and provide contextual value to that article and that link back to your site. 13, reusing repetitive anchor text. Anchor text is the content that supports your link. If you have a specific keyword phrase as your anchor text in the hopes of increasing your rank for that keyword, be careful. Using the same anchor text multiple times is a form of offsite optimization and can earn you a penalty. Even then again, also most editors these days all shy away from exact match anchor text phrases because they don't want to get penalized either. 14, failing to establish good backlink context. We all know Google is well on its way to becoming omnipotent, but even now it can tell when your links are relevant to their environment and when they're not. So, if you post a link in a forum thread that has nothing to do with your industry, you'll be considered an over-optimizer, and you could be penalized if you can do it consistently. Make sure your links are all appropriate by naturally replying to conversations and content writing, guest blogging, and establishing a context for your link, just not throwing a link out there just for the sake of acquiring a link. Last and not least is 15, focusing on quantitative tasks instead of the qualitative experience. Man, that's a mouthful, and try to say that 10 times fast. The biggest mistake is one that applies to both offsite and on-site optimization. And every webmaster is guilty of this at one point or another. If you focus on, the quantitative tasks and efforts, like hitting a certain number of blog posts or external links, instead of the qualitative experience of your readers and your followers, eventually you will over-optimize. The best way to avoid over-optimizing your site is to focus on giving your users the best possible online experience, answering the questions that they have done a search for. Forget about the numbers. After all, a high-quality online experience is Google's ultimate goal. The better experience you give your users both on-site and off-site, the more likely they are to come back, and more likely Google will favor you and improve your site's search results. I think that's about it for today's episode. So I appreciate your time. If you want to improve your site's organic visibility, come on over to SEO.co and schedule a time to have a free consultation. Learn how we can help you scale your ability to outwrite and outrank your competition.
Thank you for joining us on the SEO.co podcast. We appreciate your time. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe to the show, and visit SEO.co for more resources based on today's topic, as well as access to more podcast episodes to help you improve your site's long-term SEO success.